Welcome back, FPL family. Hopefully you're having a great Game Week 37 on our weekly quest for 100 points. If not, there's still a lot of big names and big squads still to go. In fact, I'm making this video earlier than I intended, but that's because I've seen a lot of people already getting their free hit squads going. And so I wanted to add my 2 cents before we get going to this last game week of the Premier League season. So I want to go ahead and jump right into it. But before we do, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's go ahead and get into this thing. So before I really get into some huge conversation points going into this last game week, I want to say, if you haven't set up your free hit squad, don't start looking at other people's teams, because that'll make you influence on what they believe is going to work instead of what you think is going to work. So you got to believe in who you believe in, the players you think are going to score and do well. And that's the first thing I learned in my FPL career this year, is trust you and trust your gut. So first thing right off the bat is going to be the potential for a Man City triple up. Everyone's talking about it. They're playing a Norwich team who, after Buendia got that red card, and made a joke that if they can't be in the Prem, no one can. They just keep getting, they got 2 red cards last game. They look terrible. They don't care anymore about winning, it seems. And City are firing on all cylinders as far as league play goes. But which option do you go? Now, I will talk about this later in my transfer video this week, but I think there are so many great options. You can pick any attacker you want. Jesus, Sterling, Mahrez, KDB, David Silva is potentially his last home game ever for City. You can even go cheeky play in Bernardo Silva, Foden. But the big thing for me is I want to focus more on the attackers, right? Because I think they have a big opportunity to get a big haul. As far as defenders go, it's more risky. You could go Eric Garcia, who's only 4.5 mil, and see if he starts. But that's the big thing as well, is you want to stay tuned, because for the first time this year, City, I don't know about the first time this week, but they're playing, all teams are playing at the same time on Sunday. So there's an opportunity for some early team news getting leaked. So you got to stay by your phone, stay by your computer, and have a backup plan ready. Because if you have Mahrez like I do, and Mahrez isn't in the starting 11, you got to have a backup plan saying, okay, now I'm going to go David Silva, or now I'm going to go, I don't know, Pulisic, Antonio. You got to have these things ready for if that leak happens, you're ready to switch it out. So the Pep Roulette, as scary as it has been in the past, and as scared as I am this week about it, there is a great opportunity to kind of Nostradamus it. Pun on words. But Man City triple up is a great option. There's so many great attacking options, and they're a safe bet for me this week. Let's get this out of the way. The situation in goal. Who's going to be your keeper, Martinez or Pope? They both have a very favorable match next week, and they've both been playing very well. They both are very cheap options, but Martinez is obviously cheaper at 4.4 mil. And since Martinez for Arsenal became a starter, he's averaging 5 fantasy points per game. He's playing a Watford team who just sacked Nigel Pearson, which I need to look into more. I don't know why they did that. I've heard some rumors, but I don't speculate on rumors. And Watford don't look good. They're in they're battling relegation, so maybe they'll have something to play for. But even then, they don't look great. Martinez and Arsenal have quietly looked great since getting Arteta. Maybe not great, but very good. And Martinez is averaging 4 saves per game. Wild numbers. He may be able to get you some bonus points. And Pope as well. But Pope is battling for a Golden Glove. He's 5.1 million, and he's playing a Brighton team who, just like Watford, don't look very good. But Brighton is a bit of a different situation because they have nothing to play for. They could coast it and lose both of their games. Their game right now is, I'm recording theirs in the game right now, and they would still be safe. They still won't make it into the Europa. So they really have nothing to play for. So Pope could have a great opportunity to clean sheet there. But here's my thinking. If you go with Martinez, you'll save 0.7 mil. And there's still some cheap Burnley defensive options, namely Eric Peters, who got me 12 points this week. But there's some great Burnley defenders that you can get for very cheap. So if Nick Pope does get a clean sheet, you still have coverage in your clean sheet in the defender. Martinez, you don't have any cheap options for Arsenal defense. And so you could kind of switch it up like that, so you can have both Arsenal and Burnley covered. Either way, I think you're getting a great goalkeeper. So this one, more than ever, I don't know what to do with Liverpool assets. Because they're still Liverpool, and they play Newcastle, who look terrible. They have 3 goals against them per game. They're averaging only 1 goal scored per game in Newcastle. So you would think on paper it is going to be a huge opportunity for Liverpool assets to get a haul, right? But are they going to play hard? Are they even going to play? Will they rest them for next season because they have nothing to play for? Their opportunity to be a Centurion at 100 points is already off the table. So what do you do with them? This is where I made the video earlier because I want you to watch the game on Wednesday to see how they play, and I want you to watch some post-match interviews to see what Klopp says. Now, if Klopp says, hey, we're going to go full out, we're going to end the season on a high note, because let's be honest, they've looked fantastic for 95% of the year, but now people are saying, oh, I told you Liverpool wasn't that great. So is that kind of going to bug them, and they're going to go all out and say, hey, we're still Liverpool, we're still, in our opinion, the best team in the world? Or are they going to say, hey, let's rest for next year, there's nothing to worry about? So that's going to be the big if. So I want you to watch the match on Wednesday and stay alert with what Klopp is saying, because if they play, get him in your squad. If not, it's obviously best to take that $12 million and dish it out somewhere else. Order in the court. Time to debate Aubameyang versus Kane. Both $10.9 million. Both playing very favorable match next week. Both great options. I don't know if you could bring in both, considering how many great City assets, Liverpool assets, even United assets. Spoiler alert, that's next. So I don't know if you can go for both, but one of them should definitely be on your radar. So presenting the case for Harry Kane, he's got braces in back-to-back games. He's playing a Crystal Palace squad who don't have anything to play for. They just lost their best defender in Patrick van Aanholt. Get healthy soon, always terrible to see. And they conceded 15 goals in their last 6 matches. They still have a match this week, so you'll want to see how they do. So they might be going into this game and say, hey, let's get some youngsters, some experience. All that being said, entered a very hot Harry Kane to that situation, and he could easily bag another brace or even maybe get a hat trick. He's still on penalties. Spurs still have a lot to play for. They still have Europas to qualify for. They still have Wolverhampton and Arsenal, even Sheffield, depending on how they do on their tails. They need a result. So Harry Kane could be a great option. You could also go for Son. Son is looking like a very good option as well. But Kane, as far as someone who could deliver a double-digit haul, he could look good. Then you have Aubameyang. Now, I'm not going to lie, this one's a bit tricky because a lot of question is he going to start? I'm putting my money on yes. Because as much as they still have the FA Cup final to play for, and that'll get them into the Europas, there's still mathematically a possibility of them reaching the Europas through the Premier League. Now, it's still a very, very small chance, but they would need Spurs to lose, Wolves to lose, Sheffield to lose. But they're still an option. And if I'm a manager, I'm going all out for it. I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket. And they're playing a Watford squad who looks so poor. I've talked about it before in this video. They're averaging 2 goals against them per game. And Aubameyang still has the golden boot to fight for. Add all those things up, Aubameyang has a great opportunity to, if he starts, to bag double digits. I would venture probably Kane is the smarter, maybe not the smarter option, but the safer pick this week. But I like to risk things. So Aubameyang is probably going to be where I go at this moment. And he can easily get a brace and fight for that golden boot this last week. So last up on the list, I foreshadowed it. What are you going to do with your United assets? A lot of us have tripled up on them, considering how phenomenal they've been since the restart, except De Gea probably. But the argument here is that I'm hearing is they've been playing bottom 10 squads, and now they're playing Leicester. And they had a chance to showcase who they were against Chelsea, and they did not deliver. Now, I'm not going to lie, I did not watch that match, considering FA Cup copyrights here in America. But I think there's a lot to be said about even though they played bottom 10 squads, they still went out and delivered and looked miles better than them. I still think there's a lot to be said in that. And if you dive into this Leicester match, Leicester gave up 24 shots against the Spurs. They lost Soyuncu. They don't look the same defensively. And I still think there's a high opportunity for United to bag in 3 goals. But am I going to triple up? I won't, because of how many great City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs assets there are available against poorer teams this week. But I don't think you just go and throw away your United squads. But if you're looking for a differential, definitely step away. I also want to note that Brandon Williams, their defender, is the cheapest defender in the game. He's only $3.8 million for those looking for an enabler. But as far as United assets go, I still don't think you get rid of them. I still think Bruno is the one you want to keep. And it's a tough one for me, but I think you still want to keep on to at least 1 or 2. So that was my first ever free hit video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe button. That'd be awesome. Shout out Muhammad Ali one time again, making an appearance. Hopefully you enjoy that. Now I have a transfer target special coming out later this week. Let me know if there's anyone you want me to mention in that and kind of dive into a little bit. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you have a great Game Week 37 ending, and hopefully that quest to 100 becomes a possibility this week. Anyway, good luck, and as always, Don out.